Hey, everybody. Welcome to our second episode of ManCaveSite.org. Cave Cam, as I'm calling it. That's my new thing. I'm calling it a Cave Cam. Feel free to visit us at ManCaveSite.org. I think we have a pretty good show for you tonight. We're going to cover a lot of different things. We're going to talk a little bit about Guinness, talk a little bit about the history of Guinness, talk about some of the things going on with the website, and a little bit about what happened with the last podcast, which I hope you all enjoyed. Again, so if you have any questions, feel free to visit us at ManCaveSite.org. And there's a lot of good information there. You don't have to be a paid member to visit the website or see a lot of the information that's on there, but paid members get a lot of additional information on the website. They get access to a lot of areas that the general users just don't get access to. So again, welcome. Glad to have you aboard. And first of all, on the website, we had a few new members join up this last week. I'd like to welcome Richard Davis, who joined this week, and Tim Norwood, two of our newest members. And glad to see folks are joining in. And thanks for joining. Trying to see some of the names. And thank you all for joining. Some of the things on the website that's still going on. Don't forget, we have the fantasy football going on right now. And I know that a lot of people are kind of miffed at a lot of the professional sports franchises right now, but we are offering a fantasy football challenge. It's free to play. It's a lot of fun. You just pick the teams every week. Man Cave member Taco Man provides a neat little trophy every year, and ManCaveSite.org will be providing a box of swag to the winner. So feel free to check that out. You can go to Facebook. There's a link there that will point you back to the Man Cave site. And on the main menu, we've got a link there that you can click, and it has all the information you need to access the fantasy football site. And you can sign up, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of jaw-jacking, and there's a place where you can post some comments. And so it's a lot of fun. So feel free to check that out. During our last podcast, we had a couple contest winners. So I'd like to, again, congratulate Barbara Simons and Kevin Mahan, who both won the contest questions from last podcast. So that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good questions, and I think everybody did a good job on that. So great job on that. We also have the Man Cave of the Year contest going on right now. As I mentioned during our last contest or our last podcast, some of the questions I get all the time as far as people are looking for helpful hints when submitting for Man Cave of the Year contest. Just a reminder, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to join the contest. So feel free to go to ManCaveSite.org. We have a link there as well for all the rules. I believe the contest is open now till probably mid-December. And we usually announce the Man Cave of the Year July 1st. So look for that. I get asked a lot about some helpful hints when trying to be part of the Man Cave of the Year contest. So some of the things you want to keep in mind is you want to make sure that you take a lot of photos of your man cave. And the best thing you can do is try to capture as much of the man cave in a photo as you can. Don't try to take pictures of individual items in your man cave. That doesn't necessarily help the cause. We just kind of want to see what the man cave looks like. Make sure you use a lot of good lighting. That's always a good thing. And that's pretty much it. Just send all the photos you want. There's no limit. You can send your photos to mancave at mancavesite.org, and those photos will get to us, and we'll get you in the running for the contest. So we look forward to that. And this week we have contest as well. Glad to see some folks signing up and chatting away. So try to put your thinking caps on. Just like our last podcast, we have a couple questions, And some of these are, oh, we got some questions. No? Okay. I got my wife in here, and she's going to let me know if you have any questions. So feel free to post any questions in the chat, and we'll try to get to them. And so stick your thinking caps on. As I said, we're going to be talking a little bit about beer, a little bit about Guinness. So let me get to first thing here. So again, I want to congratulate our contest winners from last podcast and our new members. So now going to our first question. In the UK, they did a study, believe it or not, and they wanted to know how much beer is wasted by men that wear mustaches. So the first question that we have is, how many pints of beer in the UK do beer drinkers with mustaches waste in a single year? How many pints of beer for mustache wearers do they waste in a single year? I can't believe they did a survey on this, but it's a thing. So give it your best guess and post your answers in the comments. And we look forward to seeing it. Remember, the closest to the answer without going over will win a box of swag from ManCaveSite.org. All right. Now, the second question. As we all know, Guinness has been making beer since the 1700s. In what year did Guinness start selling beer in cans? A little hint, it hasn't been that long ago, but go ahead and put the year in that you think Guinness started selling beer in cans, closest to the year without going over. Don't Google. Google's cheating. You can't have no cheating. No cheating on the website. So post your comments in there, and we'll look through the comments, and whoever gets the answer, we'll make sure we get those over to you, those box sets over to you. So good luck on that. And congratulations again to our last winners. So we want to talk a little bit tonight about Guinness. So some fun facts about Guinness that some people may not know. Guinness is, as most of us know, around St. Patrick's Day. Everybody wants to be Irish, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. And part of that is having an Irish drink. So typically Guinness is a drink of choice when it comes to St. Patrick's Day. And most people order a black and tan, which we're going to attempt to try to make one tonight for you. I've never done one. I haven't practiced. So we're going to see how it goes on live web stream. So we'll see how that goes. Now, just so you know, the term black and tan is totally American. Black and tan is not a term that is revered in Ireland. Typically, to go back a little bit, a black and tan in the U.S. is typically made up of half Guinness and half Bass ale. Usually the Bass ale is at the bottom of the glass. Guinness is at the top, and they're separated, so you can actually see the two. Now, kind of going back to some of the older history, they kind of looked at when you order a Guinness and a Bass is an English beer. So when you get an Irish beer and an English beer, because there was a little turmoil between the English and the Irish, they always said the two didn't mix. So that's kind of why they were separated like that. So now what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do a total English beer, which is called a half and half. Instead of black and tan, we're going to call it half and half. Black and tan is a derogatory or not so polite term in Ireland. Black and tans is a group of paramilitary organization in England back in the 1920s and 1921 that was put together to kind of suppress the Irish independence. So most of those people were made up of World War I veterans. And so Irish don't typically look at black and tans as a favorable group. So going to Ireland and ordering a black and tan would not be a good thing to do. I guess if you're American and you do it, you may not get a lot of guff, but they will look at you like you're not very savvy in the history of Ireland. So tonight we're going to be doing a half and half. We're going to be using Harp and Guinness. So it's going to be a full Irish beer. And we'll kind of go over that a little bit here after we go through that. So that's a little bit kind of the fun facts of Guinness. A little bit of history. In 1759, Arthur Guinness basically decided he wanted to get in the beer making business. So in 1759, at the age of 34, he signed a lease for the St. James Gate Brewery in Dublin. It was just a small 4-acre plot of land, didn't have a lot of brewing equipment. And this guy really had some foresight because he got the lease for the facility for a 9,000-year lease at 45 pounds a year. So how great was that? So that guy was forward thinking. So now Arthur didn't start making a stout when he first started. He primarily just did ales, which was kind of what most people in the region were drinking. So it wasn't until 1722 when an Englishman, Ralph Harwood, actually invented a beer called a porter. And in the 1770s, Arthur Guinness started making those porters, which are now called the stouts that he makes today. And by 1799, he stopped making ales altogether and just started making those stouts. And he started exporting these stouts to England back in 1769. So he found out there was a need for it, I guess, if you will, for the consumers. So he pretty much just stayed with that. So like I said, by 1799, he stopped doing ales altogether. And so that's kind of where he went. Now, he kind of passed away. Arthur passed away in 1803, but the company has stayed within the family throughout the generations. And it was just kind of passed along, and it's still thriving today. Today, Guinness is sold in over 150 countries worldwide. And there's over 10 million glasses of Guinness is consumed daily around the world. 10 million glasses. So that's just crazy. So that's just a little bit of history about Guinness, Arthur Guinness, and the beer. So what I'd like to do now is attempt to make a half and half, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try to do this sitting down without making a mess. So we'll see how this goes. So you start off with a pint glass, and of course we're going to use Harp and Guinness because we want to use have a full Irish beer. We're going to do a half and half. So the way you do is you start off with the ale.
Does it matter if they're cold or warm?
No. My wife asked if they had to be cold or warm. It doesn't really matter. It's your preference. Preferably, you want to pour the ale with a little bit of a head on it. That tends to help with the separation as you start making your half and half. Now, they do have a half and half spoon, or black and tan spoon, if you will. I'm going to try to use just an ordinary spoon tonight because I just kind of wanted to see if I could do it with just what most people have. But a black and tan spoon is actually a spoon that's curved in the middle like an S, and it's basically balanced so it'll just sit right on your glass. But we're just going to try this with just a standard spoon. So now we're going to try to put the Guinness, the stout, on there and see how this turns out. So now what you want to do is you want to make sure you put the spoon upside down, and you want to try to pour this as slowly as you can with the spoon as close to the top as you can of the ale. And then you slowly pour it in. And if you're successful at this, you'll basically have a beer that has the lighter ale at the bottom with the stout at the top. So we'll see how this goes. And you basically just start bringing the spoon up as you get the stout in. So looking at that, that's not too terribly bad. You can kind of see there is some separation there. It's probably not my best work, but it's probably going to still taste good. And that's all that matters. So there's your English half and half. Obviously I need more practice, but it's a lot of fun. People that order those in bars tend to get a lot better version of that. But now you know. So I want to talk a little bit about kind of go back over some of the stuff that we've already talked about a little bit. It's going to be kind of a short episode tonight. Just kind of wanted to go over a few things and have a little fun with Guinness and doing a half and half, and talk a little bit about Ireland and Guinness beer. And again, I'd like to kind of thank our new members that have signed up this last week. Also want to thank our member Taco Man for setting up the fantasy football. That's going to be fun this year, so make sure you sign up for that. And let's see. Do we have any questions or anything? Not yet? Okay. Congratulations to Barbara and Kevin on our last contest winners. I hope everybody did well tonight. Put on your thinking caps for that. And
You might mention that you can answer questions. I've typed it in there, but you might mention it as well. And also you might walk them through a little bit of the process of getting to the website and creating an account.
I'll do that later. Okay. So like I said, good luck with this week's contest. And remember, you can always get to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So check that out. We have a lot of great stuff. Danielle, who's our social media coordinator, does a great job with that. She lived in Ireland for many years, so I'm sure if I got anything wrong tonight, she's going to beat me up about it. So hopefully we got most of our facts straight. So feel free to check out the website again. There's a lot of great content on there, and we have a chat feature on there. If you sign up to become a member, you can go in, and we have an activity feed where you can go in, you can talk to the guys and share ideas and post your own pictures of your own man cave and get some ideas. And don't forget about Man Cave of the Year contest. Get those entries in. We'd love to see them. We want to get a lot of entries this year, so we have a steep competition. I always like having a lot of great man caves to choose from. So feel free to do that, and feel free to reach out to us on Facebook. We're always available to answer your questions, and you can reach us through email as well at ManCaveSite.org. So again, thank you again for joining, and cave on.